Hey, Jets fans, this is Jets Chaos. I'm Jeremy, and I'm here to talk about trades. Trades. There's rumors of trades. I want to first say, again, rumors is so important to understand because rumors sometimes are based on real things, and sometimes they're based on nothing. There seems to be this young writer for Sports Illustrated, Zach Presnell, and let me tell you something. You can't trust a thing this kid writes, and here's why. First of all, he's getting paid to write articles by clicks. You literally get paid for clicks. We don't get paid for clicks, Jets content providers. We want clicks. We want people to watch our videos, but we don't get paid for it. They literally get paid by volume of clicks. Now, the name Sports Illustrated might seem big and it might seem, oh, he's really important and credentialed, but he said some things in other articles that shows I'm not going to insult him, but he's just a guy. Like, he is not an insider. He doesn't have information. Like, he wrote weird things like, oh, the Jets regret taking Olu. They should have taken Bowers. And that could be true or not true, but it's kind of short-sighted and kind of like you could tell a young person who doesn't know much to say that after 1 year. Because like we've said, if Olu Fashanu was to develop into an all-pro tackle, I don't care how good Bowers is, left tackle over tight end every day of the week when you're building a team. Every day of the week, as much as I would love to have Bowers. And we were all sitting here looking at Warren as a possibility. And that was why he was saying it. So the Jets will take Warren because they they passed over Bowers and made a big mistake. Well, when I hear that, I see somebody who's not, I don't see a very seasoned, smart person when they say the Jets regret it and made a mistake. Like, that's not very knowledgeable. I don't know about that. But anyway, what it tells me is he's just a guy. Because he's not writing factual things. He's not a guy that's in the locker room that knows real things, like that the Jets have shown regret for passing over. But like the things he writes are just opinions like mine. And maybe he's smarter than me, but it doesn't matter. The point is that understand that source is not any better than any other source. It's just a guy like you with an opinion. So when you hear a guy write that the Steelers are going to trade up 21 for our number 7, and give us their first round pick next year, understand that is just complete rumor. Like, it's completely him even in the article, he doesn't give any backing of it except for it would make sense. If the Jets don't want to take Shedeur Sanders, it would make sense because Pittsburgh needs a quarterback and they want Sanders. It would make sense. Saying something would make sense doesn't mean there's any talk of it happening. And guess what? I think it would take more personally for me to trade back. If I have number 7, 21 is even in this draft, I'm happy to do it, but you're going to give me even more than just number 1. You're not going from 21 to 7 to get your quarterback and only giving your first round pick and not giving me a second round pick this year. Like, even the Giants got, when the Giants traded with Chicago, even they got their first round pick the next year and they got an additional second round pick. So you're giving me, or I think it was a second round pick. So you're giving me something this year. But see how that's all opinion? I could turn the rumor into that was the offer, but that's all it is. It's a rumor. Do I think the Jets will trade down? I think we're definitely taking calls if the phone rings, and we may even pick the phone. Moogs might pick up the phone and ask around. It would be a great move for us to trade back. And I think 21 is about as far back as you'd want to go. But definitely the guys that we can get in the range of 15 to 21, 22, like in that range, there are some better prospects. We feel better about at 7. There's no question about it. But the gap between the skill level of those players and the ability and just the prospect potential of those players is not as big as what getting a second round pick and a first round next year, or depending on how far back we traded back, a second round pick and a third next year, or whatever it is. The value of those extra picks may be higher than the gap between the two players you're talking about. I make the example with Loveland and Warren all the time. Warren is my number 1. He has a higher floor for sure. I don't know that his ceiling is higher. Loveland might end up being the better tight ends. Gunnar Helm, Mason Taylor, all those guys may end up being the tight end. So understand, there's a difference between prospect and will they be the better player. Do I want the Jets to trade down? If the value is there, absolutely yes. That's my dream scenario. We end up at 17. We have an extra second round pick, something for next year, and Egbuka's on the board. Loveland's on the board. Maybe Kelvin Banks, the offensive lineman, is on the board, the tackle, and he could be our right tackle if that's where you wanted to go. Again, the gap between those players, and Matthew Golden, by the way, Tet McMillan might slip. One of those two wide receivers might slip to 17 in that area. So there's tons there that aren't enough, or are not different enough from 7 to not do it, unless you want to take Sanders at quarterback. Anyway, if you like this video, hit the like button. You can subscribe, even hit the notification bell, and you'll know when these videos come out. Until then, I say adieu and take care, Jets fans.